Hello, everyone. Welcome to week 2. Congratulations on getting through week 1. Thank you for getting that assignment number 2, the attestation of your completion of registering for cycle number 3 with Cal APA, as well as attesting to the fact that you have found a volunteer teacher and that you're starting to work through that process with them. So, very important that that is completed in week 1 because without it, we're not going to be able to get through the cycle at all in supporting teachers, right? So, with that being said, I want you to start looking into week number 2 and knowing that you're going to start on step 1 of the cycle, which is to investigate. Part of that is understanding the coaching cycle that's done with your volunteer teacher. If you're in the same district or same school, you might have an understanding. But if you don't have that understanding, this is part of that investigation now that you do need to know because you will be completing it on the assignment for your tool that you'll use to submit for Cal APA later. Under investigate, it's really understanding what is taking place for the coaching cycle for that volunteer teacher. With that being said, you want to make sure that you do have that understanding of then steps 2, 3, and 4, which again is plan, act, and reflect. The important piece to making sure that you understand that is being able to talk it through with that volunteer teacher, possibly giving them the tool that you're going to use in that plan together, as well as looking at the discussion tool you'll use when you reflect on the observation. The other thing that I might give to a volunteer teacher, especially if they're more tenured and your district isn't using the CSTPs a lot, is I would give them a copy of the CSTPs. So I will provide a link in announcements that is sort of a condensed version of the CSTPs that you can use as a reflective tool together. Or if you use a document in your district, if it is the same district, use that as well. Just that way the volunteer teacher has that in their mind, especially if they haven't focused in a while on it. So with that, jumping in specifically for this week on step 1 of the cycle of the investigate, you're going to get into the rubric looking at 3.1 investigate. You're going to use the assessment tool that Concordia has provided, unless you have your own, but I'm going to strongly recommend that you use the Concordia tool because it sort of guides you through making sure you've hit all those elements that are going to be required of the rubric. And there's some hints and reminders along the way that you would use. So you'll be completing that this week. And then getting deeper into reading, you're going to look at coaching and continue to further develop the understanding of the purposes of coaching, looking at mentoring teachers, continuing professional development, since most of the teachers you are possibly going to be working with are those tenured teachers that you just want to keep encouraging improvement in the practice, right? We can all use improvement, so it's a great reflection to use through the coaching cycle. When we talk about reading, you'll also just be encouraged to read through step 1 again in the assessment guide, so that way you have that clear understanding. So let's talk about what's due this week. First of all, discussion boards. You are asked to complete your tool for step 1 of investigate by this coming Thursday by 11:59 p.m. and you're going to post that tool onto the discussion board. Then from there, your peers in your peer review group are going to pull your tool. They are then going to evaluate it using the rubric tool, and they will be giving you feedback that needs to be posted back onto the discussion board as a response to you by Saturday. Let me be clear on that, Saturday at 11:59 p.m. That way it allows you to be able to look at those on Sunday, to be able to submit your tool for final grading by 11:59 on Sunday. So I just want to go through that one more time on the discussion board. This is one of the tasks. So by Thursday of this week, you'll have your tool number 1 for step number 1, 3.1 filled out. You will post that on Thursday night. Two of your peers will then pull that, reflect on it using the rubric evaluation tool, give peer review commenting, and that is due by back up onto the discussion board as a response to you by Saturday. And then that'll give you Sunday to finally submit assignment number 3, which is the assessment tool with any other revisions that you want to provide there. So that is what is expected. I will again be grading the peer reviews. That's the discussion board points this week. I will be grading your peer reviews and trying to give feedback to those, making sure that we really get into supporting our peers. Whole point of a peer review, right, is to give them feedback to help them be successful at getting those higher score ranges to pass cycle 3, especially in this portion of step 1 with investigate. Now, looking ahead, it's time to start really talking to that mentor teacher to start scheduling the plan time together and then trying to get that observation date. So that way you have those both on hand, and it shouldn't again be a surprise to your volunteer teacher that you are recording. Just a reminder in conversations, try to be as vague as possible when you're planning, avoiding student names if you can. And again, like we discussed in class, it could be teacher N, my last name's Nederson, so teacher N, or the teacher, however you want to talk about that, the individual together. So very important. And then you will be looking at filling out your assignment number 4, which is step 2 plan. That's the look ahead. This week is about step 1 and investigate. As always, there is a Christian message that I would encourage you to read through, really thinking about being humble and gentle in spirit. If you have the time, take that moment for yourself. So that's the week in review. I hope that you have a great week. Some of you might be experiencing back to schools. I know some of you have already experienced it. Just keeping that balance, I can't encourage that enough. But as I started out saying, I'm here to support you. If you have any questions, I will be trying to get access to the mid-level samples, but I just want to give a disclaimer to those, to everyone. These are from the previous rubric. The rubric has gone through a revise over the summer for cycle 3. Still will be a good sort of get your mind thinking, but making sure that you always go back to that rubric, so that way you're achieving the best that you can on the rubric. I hope it's a great week. God bless.